guys, welcome to Safe Space Talks. I am your host, Valentina, and this is episode 2. The goal of this podcast is to bring in guests and for them to touch on personal mental health struggles that they've dealt with, whether it's in the present or in the past. So, help me welcome my very special guest today, Xile, Mena! Alright guys, so for you guys who may or may not know, this is Xile. So Xile, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Xile Mena. I know Valentina for a couple of years now. How many? Like 2?
Yeah,
like 2
almost
years.
3. Yeah.
And I'm 22 years old. And yeah, I'm a TikToker. That's what I do.
I'm a TikToker. I feel like explaining your jobs is so like,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
like I know, I feel like whenever people ask me to, I get that same reaction. I'm
No,
like,
literally, people are like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, TikToker. I start giggling. I'm like
you guys saw in the last episode with Pao, we're going to be coloring. Xile already started and she's doing such a cute job. Look at her. She picked up a fairy princess. So Xile, I asked Pao the same thing, and I want to ask you as well. What does mental health mean to you? Like how important is it to you? Like what does it mean in your life?
It's actually like really important to me, but the thing is I don't speak about it enough, which I should. I just feel like it's a touchy subject for some people. You know, mental health and getting serious about it, people view it as like a weakness.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I do want to speak about it more, and it's obviously very important. So
That's good.
you know, like I deal with anxiety myself. You know, like that's how we relate to things, me and her. And you know.
Yeah, that's really good. I feel like you do touch on social media, like on your mental health, but like you said, maybe you feel like you need to do more because
I just speak about it more.
Yeah, but
You know,
it is a very touchy subject, though.
I speak about it on my Instagram, but the thing is, I don't speak about it on like my TikToks or whatever.
Yeah,
Because,
people can be a little bit ruthless on TikTok. Yeah, I get you.
No, because I end up speaking to people about, you know, like me going to therapy or whatever, and people are like, oh damn, you're such a baby, whatever. Like I just feel like it takes a lot of strength to realize you need help.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. It's really hard to like be in a space where like you're like, I'm anxious, I'm this, I'm that, and then kind of getting the help is even harder. And then plus putting it on social media for a lot of people to judge. Or in the bright side, you know, people can actually feel good about it and get like inspired, but there's always going to be people that are going to be so rude and mean. So I get you.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to speak about it. You know,
That's
like
good.
I don't speak about it enough, and if I could do it with Vale, I'll do it.
Aw, awesome, Xile. I'm happy you're here. So let's get it started. We're gonna start coloring, but I'm also gonna be asking you questions along the way. So when did you feel like mental health started becoming like a really big thing for you? And I don't want to say issue, but like when did you feel like, oh wait, like I'm feeling like, what is this feeling? Like is it anxiety? Is it just like, or maybe like what have you experienced in your life too? Like what type of mental health issues have you dealt with?
You know, like if I'm gonna be truly honest, I always had like anxiety. I always had it like a little bit, but I didn't know what it was.
Gotcha.
You know, like when I was little, I'd get like a little anxious, but it wasn't anything that held me back. The only reason I started holding me back was, I don't know, I was about 18 years old.
Okay.
I think I spoke to you about it. And you know, like when I was little, I honestly like I loved being the center of attention. I'm gonna be really real. You know, like I used to do like presentations or whatever. Like it'd be like, Xile, you might go up on the board, and I'd be like this. You know, like I love to do it. Anyways, I'd get on the board, whatever, and like my teachers used to be like, this is something you should like do. You know, like they're like, you should be like a lawyer or something, because I loved it. You know, like I really loved the whole thing. But then, you know, I was like 18 years old or something, and I was dealing with like a lot of health issues, and then, you know, like my anxiety just took a hold of me, and it changed who I was a little.
Yeah, I'm like just in case, because I don't know if that's obviously
you know, like it changed, you know, like my perspective with like my personality as well, because I used to be, you know, like super loud, super whatever, love the center of attention, and then out of nowhere I became closed off, and you know, also because, you know, my health issues or whatever, but yeah, and then I ended up shifting who I am, and I deal with it on a day-to-day.
So it started out when you were pretty young, like, you know, you said like that transition, and it's crazy because for me, it was kind of the same way. Like I was always very outgoing, and then the mental health thing started for me, and complete shift. So do you think that really affected like your relationships with like your family, friends, like any type of relationship you had?
100%. You know, I used to, you know, like when I used to be friends with people, it's something I looked forward to. I would enjoy it. I would be like, oh, I'm meeting new people, you know.
Yeah.
But now, you know, not now, but you know, like 3 years ago, the person I would dread it. I wouldn't enjoy meeting people. I'd be like, oh my god, this is just something that's gonna trigger me, because it would be like, it was to the point that just meeting new people was a trigger.
Wow. And I mean, you were bound to meet people every day, like even if you don't want to, you know.
No, yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, I have social anxiety. And then that's when I realized it's what I have, and it's something I will deal with. But you know, like, it's something I'm overcoming.
Yeah.
You know, I feel a lot better about it.
That's good. Yeah, we always talk about, but we talk about it behind closed doors, and you sound just so much happier. You sound so much light now. Like you're just way different than how you were before.
It used to be so heavy. Like I used to live in La Casita, and not to bring it up or whatever, but living with the boys, it wasn't like the easiest experience for me. You know, I wasn't used to being around people that, you know, are like extrovert, especially because of, you know, like I turned into, you know, like the old me probably would have loved it. She would have been in there, but like, yeah, what the fuck, yeah, let's get turned, let's drink. But you know, at this point, I didn't drink. I was dealing with like a lot of anxiety, and I had to handle it completely on my own. And yeah,
I mean, I'm glad to see that you're doing well, because like I said, we have conversations in private, and you're just glowing now, man. Like, it makes me so happy to see that you're doing better. But so besides anxiety, do you have you ever felt anything else in your life creep in, like any type of other mental health issue that you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, depression. Loki wanted to kill myself for a second.
Oh my gosh.
Me laughing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
And you're like, now you trauma dumping. Okay, whatever. Yeah, there was like because I was dealing with like a lot of social anxiety, and I was realizing the person I was isn't who I am anymore. I was struggling. It was like a battle. I was like, I don't want to be the person I am now. I want to be who I was. And I was just like, no, I'm extroverted, I'm confident, that's who I am. But then I wasn't like being sympathizing with myself. I wasn't giving myself empathy. Yeah. You know, I was just like, nah, f- this new bitch. So I was super mean to myself.
yourself.
I was really cruel. I got to a point where I hated myself. Like, I woke up in the morning, I was just like, this isn't who I am. Like, I wasn't even able to speak to my parents, and it wasn't because of social anxiety. It's because of, you know, some other health issues. And, you know, like, I wasn't able to express myself anymore. So who was I anymore? And I was just like, I don't want to be alive anymore. So I literally ended up calling my dad. I was at like my ex-boyfriend's house, and you know, I was literally in the shower, you know, like I don't know if he was in there with me, but you know, I was in the shower, and I was just like crying. And he like, I remember like getting out or whatever, he's like, are you okay? And like, I was just like, I don't want to be alive anymore. Like, I was just like very sad. And then I, you know, like my dad and my family, we have a really good bond or whatever, so I just like called them, and I was just like, you know, I ended up like breaking down and like crying. And you know, like he was just like talking me through it. But I never took it to the extent, you know, where I was about to do it. But it was definitely something that came to my mind, you know. No, and it's not something that I talk about and I'll probably start crying, because that's just not who I am. I like to giggle and laugh. Even in moments like this, I was like, oh, I almost killed myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like something I do. I like deflect.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to get emotional.
Oh, yeah. No, but it's good to talk about it though, because I've felt it in my life. Like, whenever I talk about things that kind of make me uncomfy is when I start like feeling more like healing in my life. So that's good.
Already feeling lighter.
Yeah, like you're talking about it.
Did you know that about me?
No, I don't think you've ever told me that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't think you've ever told me that.
Wow.
And that's something big. So I mean, it's okay though, because like that's something that like is just, it could trigger a lot of things too. So, but I didn't know that. But I'm glad that you're alive, and I'm glad that you got past those thoughts.
Thank you very much.
You don't deal with none of that anymore. Like none of like the, trigger warning. Obviously, I'm gonna put a trigger warning before all of this. But
you just been like suicide.
No, yeah, there's gonna be a trigger warning before every episode. But
it's just gonna be like beep beep beep.
But did you kind of overcome those like suicidal thoughts? Like, have you like overcame them?
100%.
That's good. And I'm super happy because you should be alive. And I'm like, you're amazing. I would be so sad if you weren't. So
yeah, it was just like a really low moment.
Yeah,
I didn't have anyone. Like, if I'm being honest, I didn't have friends. I only had my boyfriend and my family. And yeah, but you know, like I've become like a different person. I feel a lot stronger. But you know, it was just like a really low moment. And you know, it happens. You know, it happens with everyone.
Yeah. And what I like to say when people say that is like the only way from down is going up. So if you were literally hit rock bottom, if you're at the lowest point of your life, like the only way to go from there is up. It's just harder. It's easier said than done, because when you're there, like, yeah, it's easy for other people to be like, oh yeah, like it's, you know, you can get up and you'll be fine. But it's hard when you're at the lowest moment, like you really feel like there's no hope, there's no like there's no way out of it, like you're like, that's it, you know.
That's what happened with me. It was like a really low moment, but then literally like 3 months after, I was contemplating, you know, taking my own life.
Yeah,
the bad ways ended up happening. You know, like the whole thing ended up happening like legit 3 months later, and it gave me a reason to live. Not gonna lie, you know, it was something I always wanted to do. You know, I always wanted to, you know, like be in social media. You know, this career, you know, just really intrigued me, and you know, like being able, you know, like after dealing what I was dealing with, which was like a really low moment, you know, to be able, you know, to, you know, like that difference in my life, because it literally like picked up extremely quick. You know, my life was at a bottom, and then out of nowhere, I just like, people who cared about me, you know, like people gave a shit about me, and I was able to go to LA and hang out with people. I've always just been like, oh my god, I admire you.
That's insane.
Like it was just like a really big jump, and it's what I needed, hikey, because I was at a really low moment. So, yeah.
Wow, that was 3 months after all of that had happened. Man, it's like it was meant to happen for real. Like you were meant to go through that, because look at where you are now. Like you're just so much happier. You do what you do for a living, and you're happy doing it. Like man, I'm so happy. I didn't know that either.
No, yeah,
that is insane. It's like you just knew what you needed, and it just came to you.
No, literally.
Wow.
It was like a wake-up call, in a way, because, you know, the person I was before, even though, like, I admire her and who she was, she definitely needed to reevaluate a couple things.
Wow.
And I ended up learning a lot of patience. I ended up learning kindness over everything. And you know, I just feel like I turned into a better person at the end of the day.
That's an amazing story today. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I haven't told anyone.
Wow, that's really nice, Xile. And it's nice because it gives people hope. It gives people like, man, like if like, you know, these people are saying things that they've gone through, and like they were at their lowest, and then they made something out of it. Like there is hope, and there always will be hope, but it's just hard when you're going through something hard and kind of making yourself believe like, oh no, like I got this, like something good will come out of this. It's really hard, because when you're at your lowest point, you're just thinking everything negative. You are thinking about just, you know, ending everything, like you're saying. So I'm happy that happened to you, because you're doing amazing now, and it's only gonna go up from here. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. You know, it could be a little difficult, you know, to get vulnerable and being real, and especially coming from me. I'm a person that doesn't like getting serious. I'm a person, you know, like I don't really like handling, you know, arguments. I mean, I do handle arguments. Like it's like a me and Vale relate in that, you know, when I'm dealing with an argument or something, I like handling it like this when I need to handle something. You know, like if it has to do with like my emotions and being vulnerable, it's something I don't like touching on. But you know, it needs to happen. You know, people need to feel like they could speak about these things. Yeah,
because we can, and it's good to have a safe space. That's why I love this name of the podcast, to be able to be vulnerable and be able to give an audience realness, you know. So after you started you know, the bad week is like you were saying, and like social media blew up for you and everything was going super well, do you think that your mental health started getting really, really good? and like that it was just getting better from there, or do you think there were still moments even while being an influencer that were kind of like, oh man, what's going on?
Like I'm gonna be really honest, when the whole bad wiggy thing happened, it was like, my first time dealing with anything that had to do with like being an influencer. It was the first time dealing with like hate comments. It was the first time dealing with like the good things and the bad things. And the hate comments, they were bad. Like the bad wiggies, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I got pretty big for a minute.
Oh yeah, you guys were huge.
No, yeah, people like, even though it was like a lot of love, it was also like a tremendous amount of hate that had to process, and there's people literally like in my comments, whatever, being like, kick Miss fucking Blue the fuck out, like she's ugly, she looks like a man. Like people are just coming for me as a person. They didn't even know me. And
wow.
Like especially when a person was that low. I was low like a couple months beforehand.
Man,
those things, they didn't really trigger me to be like in a spiral. Because I was just like, this is everything I wanted. I had to accept it. I came with the good and the bad. So, I was just like, it was a lot.
And that's why I asked, because for you guys, like how you explain it, like it was quick. Like you guys getting all these like followers and like just attention on you guys was very quick. And now that you mentioned that you were dealing with social, like the whole, suicidal things and stuff beforehand, I feel like getting a lot of hate right at once or getting a lot of love could be really overwhelming. So it's good that you didn't let that really get to you, because like you said, it was very fresh, that you had just felt super down. So because man, people, like we were saying earlier, people on the internet can be really hateful and just judgmental and stuff. So I'm glad, because, and some of the times too, I mentioned this to a lot of people, that it's like a lot of girls too that just love to hate, which I'm like, we should be supporting each other, but
like it's easy to say that, because like I'm gonna be honest, like there's like this misconception that women, like I don't know, there's like people on TikTok now, they're like, I'm a hater and what. And
they're proud.
And they're proud, whatever, that's who they are. And it's not something like I'm shame y'all for doing, but I think it's just wild.
It's just wild.
It's just like wild.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know, that's just how people are nowadays. Like if I'm gonna be like really honest, the whole social media thing, even though like it boosted me and it made me feel good in a way, I always was aware to keep myself grounded. I never held it as something to like keep me up. It's something you struggle with once you like get in this career, you kind of relate the numbers to who you are as an individual, and how light you are. And that was something I always struggled with at the beginning, but now I feel very confident in who I am as an individual outside my career. That was the whole reason I ended up moving here. Because living over there, I was like, the numbers matter. Legit, the numbers matter like a lot. Like the people around you won't pay attention to you unless you have numbers, which was crazy.
With social media and everything, and like you getting making this your career, I'm sure it's really hard to balance a lot of things. And of course, with mental health, like we're talking about, sometimes we can get like the hate get to us, and it just really affects us. So my question to you is, how do you kind of balance it out? Like how do you kind of like maybe ignore the hate, and how do you just kind of like take a mental break and be like, okay, I'm not gonna let this get to me? Like what do you do to make yourself feel good, like for your mental health?
Like whenever I get to those moments, I like doing things that make me feel happy. Like being around my family makes me feel happy. Being around people that make me laugh makes me feel happy. And even doing simple things, like laying on my bed watching TV, that makes me happy. Like being on my own, and like I just keep myself grounded. Whenever I get too low or it gets to me, I speak to people that support me. And for me, that's my family, my mom and dad. Like just people that care about me and that will remind me. not to let those things get to me. It's just like, you know, like my dad likes to say, it's like an etapa. It's just like a period. They're gonna be dealing with something negative, but there's always something better on the other side, you know.
I agree. That's really good advice. How do you like make yourself feel better on like a daily basis? Whether, let's forget about like the whole social media thing, because I know that can be really hard, but that's really good that you go to your family, because it's at the end of the day, you know, they're a family, and it's good that you have a great relationship with them, because some people sadly can't go to their family whenever they have like all these issues with mental health. So that's good. But what do you do on your own whenever you feel, for example, if you feel anxious out of nowhere, or like if you're having a panic attack, like what do you do? Like, do you journal? What do you do to like make yourself feel grounded? Or do you just love to just go to your family and talk about it?
I'm gonna be real. Like I'm that type, you know, I'm an individual that likes to speak to people around when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like when I'm on my own, like I don't know how to bring myself down or like ground myself. And I feel like it's something I'm learning. It's like difficult to, you know, like when you're dealing with like anxiety, it's just something that takes over. It feels like a weight like on you. And it's something I'm learning to do. And you just have to push yourself every day.
That's really good that you say that, because it's real. Like, it's not like, oh, like I journal and I do this and I do that. Like, you're being completely honest, and it's true, because anxiety can be different for everybody. Sometimes it literally makes you feel like what do I do right now? Like, you're not gonna pick up a journal right away and be like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, or like, you know, you're not gonna do things that can help yourself. Like when I have anxiety, I kind of just be like, I just breathe, and I'm just trying to like, you know, not freak out. So I completely understand.
No, literally, like I'm gonna be honest, maybe at my grown age I shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna call my dad, but you know, like that's generally like what helps, you know. Like,
no, but that's good, because like you have like the ability to do it. Like, why not? Like, it's really sad that people nowadays probably will think that's like a bad thing. Like, it's because you're not depending on them either. Like you have like an outlet, and you have people around you that love you and can help you, and why not use it? You know, instead of it keeping it to yourself and then eventually like just.
No, like if I'm being honest, like when I'm on my own, I don't have anyone. Like I know how to handle it, but I wouldn't say it's like in a healthy manner. You know, like whenever I get anxiety or whatever, my first thing is I'm gonna eat something, and I'm gonna eat something that makes me happy. And then sometimes I overeat and like I binge eat, which isn't good.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say that.
You didn't want to say that, no. But and that's the thing with people with just mental health issues. It's really different, because for example, like you said, you binge eat, right? I, for example, like I sometimes when I get anxiety, like I don't want to eat, or I eat too much. So I completely understand you, because man, mental health looks so different in different people. And this is why I wanted to do these type of videos, to just give people like to make people understand and just learn more, because we both deal with anxiety, but it looks completely different for the both of us.
Yeah, literally, like my anxiety, like it connects to like my vocal cords. Whenever I get too anxious, like I just get nervous, I close up, you know, like I break down literally. Like you see me like slowly getting into a turtle and whispering. Yeah, but whenever I'm feeling like confident, I'm able to speak up, and I feel very more myself. But you know, like anxiety takes over in different ways. It could also like I overeat or I don't eat. Like it's either of those.
It's like a really like extreme. Like you don't, or you do too much. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Did you know beforehand, like dealing with anxiety and stuff, did you know what anxiety and depression were? Because you said that you dealt with it when you were like younger, right? But before, you just didn't know. You were just kind of living life like not knowing that it was anxiety.
I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just excitement. To be honest, like you know, like when you're about to get on a ride. Yeah, and that's what anxiety feels like. But like 24/7 for me. You know, like I'd be like, oh, this is anxiety. It's just excitement. You know, like, I'm just excited. But then I was just like constantly feeling this. It just not feel good, you know.
Yes, and you're like, wait, I don't think excitement's supposed to feel
I don't
scary.
think excitement's trying to. No, literally.
Was there a moment in your life, Xile, where you felt like, man, like I have to get help, like I need help?
No, literally, like a couple months ago when I was living in LA, I took the decision to move out, to move back in with my family. and I ended up going to therapy. It's, you know, I was just like remembering my old triggers, you know.
Yeah.
I was living my life on a cycle. I was very alone. I felt alone. I felt disliked. I felt hated. And it wasn't even like the people around me. It was just like my head. I was overthinking, you know. You know, like I was just overthinking everything. I was just like, you know, I was just getting to a point where I knew if I didn't get help, I was gonna get, you know, like, I was gonna get suicidal. Trigger warning.
Yeah. I'm super glad because that's why I asked you, because sometimes like we kind of know we need help but we don't do it, whether it be because of shame, because you don't want people to like, you know, make you feel bad for it. You might think people are not going to believe you or something, but man, you have a really great support system, and I'm so happy for that, because we all need that. We all need some type of support, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, we can't live life alone. It's literally true. Like, I forgot if it's like, it's not even like a Christian thing, but I forgot where I heard it, but like we're like meant to be with people. Like, I mean, we live around people all the time, that's what we need to survive, like conversations and just like relationships. So man, you having that, I'm so happy, because
some people might be like, oh, you're spoiled, you having like a loving family or whatever. Okay, I'm spoiled, and what, you know. Like, I'm happy. I'm very blessed to have the family I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Do you know, like I only wish I could share my parents with everyone. Like, I wish I could. I wish everyone could feel how it feels to have that. But, you know, it wasn't always like that. You know, I didn't, like, my family wasn't always a support system for me. It wasn't always all good. You know, like, I dealt with things when I was younger. I had a difficult childhood. So, yeah.
Do you want to touch a little bit on your childhood with mental health?
I just like if I'm being honest, like, if I touch on it, you know, like, I feel bad for them, because they were different individuals. You know, they aren't who they are today. But, you know, like, my dad used to be an alcoholic, and you know, like, every holiday, it wasn't good. You know, like, I'm gonna be real. You know, we didn't have good holidays in my house. It was, you know, my dad drinking, and it was my mom arguing with my dad, and then it'd be like it wouldn't even be one day, it would be like a week of us dealing with our parents arguing. I was like 7 years old. Like, it ended up ending when I was like 16, but it continued since I was a little kid. Until I was 16. So, yeah. I mean, I just feel like I can't be honest about that, because I feel like they don't deserve any backlash from who they were, you know? Like, I feel like if I speak about these things, people are gonna be like, her dad was an alcoholic, what a piece of shit. And it's like, it wasn't even like that, you know? They're different people now, and I feel like they've healed who they were, and I healed who I was, and I feel like the people they are today aren't the people they were when I was younger, you know? And
yeah, that's how I feel with whenever I talk about my family too. So I completely understand, because they're different. Like, they're completely different people, and that's the thing. Like, people nowadays feel like people can't change or can't give, like, we can't give them second chances.
People could grow. People could turn better.
Yeah, 1,000%. So, but I'm happy to see that, man, because I would never guess, like, you know, that you had issues with your family, seeing how your family is now. Like, you guys are so amazing. You guys are so close to each other. So it's great seeing that dynamic, and not even knowing, like, that you guys have gone through a lot of things. But that's really good to know.
No, yeah. You know, like, it's something I feel like could be a touchy subject for some people, and, you know, some people might relate, and some people don't have, you know, people aren't as lucky as me that, like, my family was able to get out of that and, like, have a better bond than we've ever had.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a struggle. You know, some people don't have that privilege, which is very sad.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. With everything going on with social media, do you think that there's, like, a pressure that you feel to, like, never mess up on social media? Like, if I do this, like, I'm just gonna get, like, do you feel pressure? Do you feel any type of, like, anxiety towards specifically that?
No, 100%. You know, I feel like being on social media, you have to be aware of the power in your words, and like you have to be careful, which I feel like is normal with human decency. You know, it's not something, you know, that is like in my head, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't say this, I can't say that. You know, like obviously if I have a different opinion than everyone else, I feel like it's normal and it's human. But you know, like I never have like a drastic different opinion, and then I'm like, oh my god, if I say this, you know, people are gonna get up my ass. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's not something I'm constantly worrying about, you know.
That's good, because I know, like, you know, being an influencer, it can get to your head sometimes. Like, man, like, I'm going to get so much hate, or you're just starting to even stress yourself out over some stuff like that. So that's good.
No, especially with you, dealing with, like, your religion. I feel like that's difficult.
Oh, man, yeah. I feel like, I feel like putting your belief out there and, like, you know, claiming something so like controversial, like, you know, people just have different opinions, and that's fine, but you're always gonna get hate for it, but it's okay.
No, yeah, it's who you are.
Yeah, and if it's who I am, then I mean, people are gonna, like you said, we all have different opinions. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people will just make fun of it. Some people will just like respect it, and you know,
like people have this misconception.
What do you think is some good advice that you can give to anybody watching that deals with any type of anxiety or anything that you mentioned today? What's some good advice on anything?
You know, like if you know, like this may be very blunt, but this is what I tell myself. I have this toxic like trait or whatever. I love to victimize myself, and especially with like my social anxiety and with my mental health issues, you know, I have to like remind myself, you know, there's like things in this world that are happening that are way important than what I'm dealing with, even though like this may be horrible advice, but it's something that helps me. I just remind myself there's people out there that are dealing with some difficult ass things, and you know, like I'm gonna be crying over here over like some, you know, like I don't know, you know, like dealing with suicide is something serious, obviously, but you know, like as of today, like my advice for myself is if it's something that I could compare to something that's happening out there in this world, I need to get over it. I need to move on. I need to keep persevering, not only for myself, for who I am in the future, who I want to become, and for my family. You know.
That's actually really good and different advice, because I feel like everybody always gives advice that's like, you know, just different. But I love that you're being hard and just kind of being honest, like, because this is what it's all about. It's about being honest and real, and it's good to like kind of have other views and stuff, because I never asked my other guest, but that's good. I like your answer, because I was expecting something different, but I really like that.
Because people are usually like empathize with yourself. No, you gotta humble yourself. You gotta be like, step the out of that hole. Like that's what I tell myself. You know, like it's easy to get in there, get comfortable, and just every negative thing just sit on you like a little blanket. But you just gotta get the up and continue. You know, like my dad is very more gentle than what I'm telling y'all. But this is something I give myself the hard truth in my head. You know, like I don't like being a little crybaby anymore. I'm like, how old am I? 23 almost. You know, you have to toughen yourself up, because the world is cruel. People will be mean. People will not like you for no reason. And you just gotta be who you are. Like, not give a do things on your own. Like, I have to, you know, be able to do things on my own, and I take that step every day. Like, my family one day, sadly, isn't gonna be here, and it's a hard pill to swallow. But, you know, that's what growing up is.
I hate thinking about that.
No, it's like it's
so
the worst thing to think about. But you know, it's true. It's realistic.
It's true, especially when you're very family oriented, and oh man, it's just so hard. I think about that all the time, dude. Like, what am I gonna do? Like,
no, literally,
I'm literally gonna die with them.
I'm
like, oh my gosh.
I ended up posting a TikTok, and I was like, the day my mom's gone, bitch, you'll know I'm gone the next day. I'm letting y'all know.
Man, especially you with your mom, Xile. Like, you and your mom are like this. Oh, I don't like thinking about that.
No, I don't like thinking about it either. I've spoken, to my family about these things, we speak about everything, even, at the end of the day they're gone, we speak about things like that as well. And, they just tell me that, like, like, I tell them and I play around. I'm like, the day you're gone, like, I'm killing myself. I'm letting y'all know. Now I'm letting everyone know. But they were like, no, stop. You gotta persevere. You gotta persevere for us. You gotta get a family. You have to get a husband. You have to, find a significant other and just find a reason to keep living without us, because even though I depend on them very much, they're keeping me realistic, they're not going to be here forever. And I was speaking in the car with my mom, like, legit right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're like, it literally just happened too. Man, I hate thinking about that, but it's just so real. Like, we have to be, like, realistic. Like, we're all gonna die one day. Like, that's something that we can't avoid in life. One thing is dying. We can't avoid it. We have to die one day. And
that's why I be thinking, YOLO, life is short.
YOLO.
Like,
literally.
No, literally. I feel like death is only scary when I think of it, like, for a loved one. Or for someone I care about. If it's, like, about me, I don't think about it too much, because I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But I wake up and I have, like, sleep paralysis, and I have nightmares of, like, my mom or, like, my parents dying, and I wake up sobbing. Legit, if it's someone I care about, like, that's different. But if it's, like, me, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's real though, because, man, I've had some night terrors. I wake up, like, sweating, sobbing, crying. That happened to me, I think, twice. And then there were both times I think were about my mom, or one of them about my mom and one of them about my dad. But, man, that's so real. Do you have nightmares still, and like, night terrors and like, sleep paralysis? Let's maybe touch on that too, because, man, that's so real.
That's so
real.
It's literally scary. It's terrifying. I would wake up in the middle of the night feeling I couldn't move. I'd feel like someone's just, like, pressing on me. But the thing is, the only reason you get sleep paralysis, if you look it up, it's either if you're really, like, fatigued. Did we speak about this?
I think it was with you.
We did speak about this. If you're either, like, really fatigued, or if you sleep, like, on your back. And I whenever I do that is when I get it. But whenever I don't, I'm just like, whatever. But I would wake up in the middle of the night. I didn't tell you this. I thought I did. I'd wake up in the middle of the night. I'd see, like, a like, demons. And I'd have, like, my eyes open. But, I'd close them sometimes, and I'd be, like, in my dream, sleep or whatever. And then I'd open them again, and I wouldn't be able to move. And I remember I would start yelling, and I would be like, like, just mumbling. I wouldn't be able to move. And one time I did it, like, next to my ex-boyfriend or whatever. And he was like, what the f*** is going on? And I was just like, I was just, like, yelling. But I couldn't open my mouth or, like, move. And then when I get out of it, you feel so sluggish, because it takes up so much energy. It's, like,
Xile.
Scary.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you don't deal with that no more. Because, girl, that's scary.
No, it's super scary. But it's not something that I was just like, damn, I'm traumatized. It's just something I'm like, oh, it's a cool story to tell, like,
it's a cool, like, little story to tell at night.
It's a little scary. Whenever I'd wake up, I'd be like, I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna watch, like, a kid's movie, like a Barbie movie.
Aww.
And then I'm gonna go back to sleep. But, it's just, like, whatever. My mom, she used to see, like, ghosts.
No. Wait, I feel like we talked about this too.
Like, in my house.
No,
the house I'm in right now, I used to, like, wake up in the middle of the night, and this wasn't, like, sleep paralysis. I'd wake up and see these two little girls at the end of my bed, and they'd be, like, holding hands, like in that movie Shining.
Yes. Literally. I'm, like, thinking about that.
Literally like that. And I'd be like, because I never saw that movie. Like, even when I was little, I've never seen that movie. So, like, I woke up and I'd be like, what the fuck? They'd be, like, at the end of, like, my sister's bed or, like, mine. And then I end up telling, like, my mom about it. and she was like, oh my god, I saw the same thing. Like, she literally saw the same thing in the house, and they used to like scratch her when she was sleeping.
That is very real. I believe in all that. I believe 1,000% in all of that.
Oh yeah, literally like a priest or like a father, you know, had to come into our house and literally like bless
the house.
the whole house.
That's literally like what you see like in Paranormal Activity or like stuff like that. That's crazy. See, and like you said, like you never watched that movie growing up, so it's like you wouldn't have like envisioned it.
No, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was little, I used to see like ghosts very often, but it wasn't something that would trip me. It would like, you know, like thinking about it now, it's like spooky. But you know, when I was little, I'd move on. Like I'd just continue like my day.
Yeah. It was kind of like, okay.
No, literally.
Hey, ghost. My guy, ghost. Like, that's insane, Xile. Has there been anything like in your life that like really traumatized you, like
a ghost?
Or anything, like just really like made you be like, damn, like I really like maybe even have PTSD with like. Have you ever been diagnosed with PTSD or something like that?
You know, like the only thing I told you that gave me PTSD was living in La Casita with the boys. Like,
really?
I'm
No, I think you really, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and y'all may be like, oh, she got pissed. Nah, like those boys were hell. But you know, I hold nothing against them. Yeah. No. And that's good. That's really good. I just like moved on. But, yeah. No, like I never had PTSD over something like that. No. Mm-hmm.
So you think like the major things that you dealt with in life was like anxiety and depression? Yeah. That's good though. I actually really like the advice you gave because it's something that like people wouldn't like expect. I think people expect everybody to be really soft and like very like.
I could give that advice, but you know, it wouldn't be real to me. Yeah, because I never give myself that.
Exactly, and you're only giving advice that you give to yourself, and that works for you. And who knows, like maybe some people like have tried everything, and like you know, just like they tried being gentle to themselves, they tried everything, and maybe like being hard on themselves and being like, you know what, no, like let's do this, like let's get up. Will work for them, so that's good.
You know, like I used to journal, like I used to do those simple, you know, self-loving things, and it's something you do need. Yeah. But you also need that tough love, you know, because you know, like you have to be real in life. People aren't gonna be gentle with you. People aren't gonna be soft. Yeah. You know, you may find those individuals that will treat you like that. But you know, not everyone's gonna be like that.
That's true. Very true. Some people will just be not even show you hard, tough love, but they'll just be straight up mean and rude and you know, not loving at all. So that's really good advice, Xile. I love that you said that. I think that's really good for the questions. I feel like that was really good. But we're gonna finish coloring really quick, and then once we finish coloring, we'll be right back. We'll show you guys what we made, and we'll finish off the episode. So we'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Boom! We're back. But okay, see, let's show the camera your finished masterpiece. Bye-bye. And she was a fairy. Look how cute.
She was a fairy.
Look how cute. Mine is very cute, like my drawing, but like my coloring was just unfinished again. I just can't finish it, man. I have to learn how to multitask better.
The thing is, you're gonna finish it one day.
Yeah.
One day.
Because last time, you're like, one day. Last time, I had done the mermaid with Bao, and I was showing Xile, and I only did her hair and like 3 little leaves on the bottom. So like, I'm making progress. Like, this is progress for me. Look, this is from last time, and this is from today. I colored way more. Yeah. So it's progress. It's like life, you know. I was just making a deep thing.
You're making
a deep analogy. Okay, Xile. Oh, you signed it already?
Are you signed it, or you just told me to do that? Okay, let's pretend.
No. I know that I did. She knew her assignment. So I told Bao to sign it last time just to keep it like as a memory, so I know who signed everything, and she just put her signature, so it's official. So cute. Look at it.
Ooh,
yup.
Completed look.
But yeah, guys, that will be it for today's episode. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I hope that some of you can either relate or can learn from this, because even if you don't deal with mental health issues, it's really important for us to just be more open-minded and to learn more about people that deal with mental health issues. So maybe one day help your loved ones, or if you're going through something one day, you're aware now. But yeah, so thank you so much today for having me. I'm like always I'm always the guest. I'm like, thank you for being on my podcast.
No, thank you for having me.
I love you, and I'm just so grateful that you're just amazing and that you decided to be on here, because it's really hard to be vulnerable. So I'm happy that you decided. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to see anybody else on this podcast, make sure you comment down below who you want to see next. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. God bless you, and I love you so much. Bye-bye.